The Second Sino-Japanese War has come to a close, or rather it's the third, I guess. I don't even know anymore. China has been in revolt. Two factions have emerged, but they both call themselves the Republic of China. One is led by one Dr. Sun Yat-sen, and the other is, well, led by warlords who are strangely pro-communist and have a lot of backing from the Soviet Union, including troops. The Qing Empire has been overthrown. The former emperor was, well, granted a cursory salary from the state and was given fair treatment, which I guess is fair considering the circumstances. In the meantime, the war is over. Thankfully. Unfortunately, it did come at a cost. We lost a few ships, sure, but nothing quite hurt as much as losing the venerable battleship Shinyo, one of my original designs. It hurt hearing that off Tianjin she was lost. Flooding in her compartments ended up taking her down, and what crew survived, and unfortunately there weren't many, were able to escape safely. We did sink the Chinese force that came after us, yes, but it still hurts. In the meantime, I have busied myself with other duties. Preparing for peacetime operations and, well, whatever else. I found that I haven't been writing as much in my journal. It's been several months since the war ended, but here we are. I've designed a new battlecruiser, the Katsuragi class, which I believe will be an asset as soon as they finish construction. However, there are whispers on the horizon. Whispers of a growing tension with the Soviet Union. Reports, if they are to be believed, show that the Soviets had tapped wires leading out of Beijing. The British also finished their war against the warlord forces, which have completely turned communist. And the Republican forces have been forced into our territory, or at least occupation zones. As part of a deal with the British, which I'm sure I will mention again and again, because quite frankly, I can barely keep up with the politics of the day, the Republican government is being set up as part of two zones of occupation shared by ourselves and the British. This is a fair deal to Dr. Sun Yat-sen, the current president, as, well, China needs to industrialize in order to beat the communists who have gained a foothold outside of mainland China, in Indonesia, where they control a vast rubber and oil supply, which has made it very difficult for, well, us to sanction them as, well, everyone needs tires and rubber products, and, well, oil is the lifeblood. We're still trying to get our engines converted, but it will happen slowly. We will eventually get our engines converted over to oil, but for right now, coal is plentiful and oil is too expensive for the Japanese fleet. While all this is going on, the whispers keep growing louder. What started off as a small joke thrown around sake to amuse ourselves as we discussed politics or debated philosophy has become a terrifying reality as time goes on. My friends, as part of the advisory group for Japan's Navy, many of you are familiar with, Alex, James, and Billy, have grown less humorous in recent days. Reports are coming in from the home countries that, well, things aren't all going well. Europe is still burning as various wars continue on. Britain, over the past few years, has reformed itself into a more federal system, and a Stuart dynasty has been restored in Scotland as part of the deal, under an act of union, technically making James the official naval attaché from the Kingdom of Scotland as part of the wider Kingdom of Great Britain and her empire. So, yes, they're still technically having a parliament, but it's still the British Empire. Anyway, that is not important. United States, however, has kept Billy here as he's, well, one of the few people who can actually speak Japanese fluently, and quite frankly, he's the only one I trust. They've sent over other attaches to try, but James seems to be the one who... I'm sorry, Billy seems to be the one. I can hear James laughing in the other room, and Billy's telling him off. But it seems that we're all finally settling in. At least after the Chinese War. I have a gut feeling, though, and the British seem to share in my concerns. The Soviet Union is building up a fleet, and we've had to dispatch cruisers to protect our merchant vessels, which have been boarded under the strange justification that they're carrying weapons to arm the capitalist bourgeoisie to overthrow the proletarian government. I think that was their initial justification. But it matters not. Our merchant ships are being boarded. Our fishing ships are being stopped in our waters, in international waters, and in just outside of Soviet waters by the Soviet fleet. Finally, it became too much, and the government posted our fleet just outside of their waters with a warning that Japanese vessels will sail to their ports without Soviet interference. Nominally, the ships sailing in the Sea of Okhotsk and the Sea of Japan to Soviet ports are trading ships carrying lumber or other Japanese goods to be sold. Occasionally, fishing boats get sent over as we trade some foodstuffs with the Soviet Union. But it is becoming a bit of a pain when for the fourth time in a week, another Japanese merchant vessel has been stopped. It seems that if nothing gets done soon, it will come to blows, and I hope the fleet's ready. I would love more time to modernize, and I've been warned that our tech is falling behind. Basic experiments on submarines have little yielded results, and only prototypes have been built. And quite frankly, we are running behind the times. Other ships are being converted to full oil, burning engines, and they have better guns. However, with an economy that's run by more autarkic figures for now, although it seems the Emperor is growing displeased with the current situation and is putting pressure on the government to do something, we're kind of stuck. But for the meantime, I will continue to do my duties, and, well, that's all I can do. Do my job, and do it well.